Well, day one at Old Trafford was somewhat frustrating and definitely freezing for the players who are out there now. And for us out here now, Mike Hussey, so glad to have you with us for these final two tests. It was a really frustrating day, but it was one that started well for England, and particularly that battle we have seen going between Stuart Broad and David Warner. Broad is on top there.
Yeah, without doubt. I think Australia would have been firstly delighted to win the toss and get in there and try and make a big score. But then after the first over, when Stuart Broad, he's just got the wood over David Warner at the moment. And it's a horrible feeling as a batsman when you know you're facing a bowler that has just got your measure. And no matter what he tries at the moment, he's just finding his wicket. So it was a great start for England. It certainly got the crowd going. And the worst possible start for Australia. David Warner, he just looked indecisive and he looked a bit tentative against Stuart Broad, who's bowling beautifully, it has to be said. Bowling round the wicket, angling into Warner and then getting the ball to move away late. It's difficult to play from a batting point of view, but Broad was certainly on top early.
What does David Warner need to do to get over this now? Is it as much, you talk about the psychology of it, is it a technical thing he's going to need to fix, or is it a psychological thing?
More psychological, I think. His technique is fine, he hasn't changed his technique in any way. Broad certainly got confidence against him, so in some ways David Warner's got to try and put that pressure back on Stuart Broad. Now, I'm not saying that's easy, because when the ball is moving around a lot, as we do see here in England, particularly with that new ball, it's difficult to come out and be really positive, but that's when David Warner's at his best, when he's positive with his stroke play, positive with his footwork, rather than just thinking, I just want to hang in here and survive against Stuart Broad. No, he's got to somehow put that pressure back on him. Not easy, but that's what he's got to try and do.
Now, the much anticipated, after the Broad v Warner battle, we were all looking forward to seeing Archer v Smith and how Steve Smith would come back after the head injury that he had, the concussion. He came back pretty well, has to be said. He wasn't worried by the short ball. He wasn't really worried by anything, was he?
Yeah, I think it was a good battle early, and certainly Jofra Archer tested him out with a few short ones. And Steve Smith, to be honest, didn't look 100% comfortable to start with. He certainly wasn't thinking about playing any of the hook shots or pull shots that we've seen him play in the past. He was just happy to get underneath them, get used to the pace of Archer again, get used to the pace of the pitch. After he'd faced that first spell from Archer, I got the feeling that he really calmed down, settled himself down at the crease and played. As we know Steve Smith plays, he just looks so composed out there. He's got so much time. He's got himself a really good start again, but he'll be looking to really go on with it.
Great partnership between him and Marnus Labuschagne, passing 50 for the fourth time in a row in as many innings. That has, his concussion, Steve Smith's concussion, has almost inadvertently solved one of the problems or questions Australia have had in their batting line.
Yeah, you could look at it that way, but yeah, Labuschagne's probably been the find of the tour really for Australia. Again, he's also looked just so much time and so composed at the crease. A very important partnership. After Australia had lost 2 early wickets, they would have been desperate to get that partnership together. They played really well and have given certainly Australia a really good start in this game until Labuschagne copped an absolute beauty from Overton later on in the day.
I mean, that was a terrific ball, wasn't it? And he's been a bit of a controversial inclusion, I guess, in some ways, in some people feeling that Chris Wokes was hard done by, and he was there to sort of be the workhorse. But in the end, that ball, that was one of the best balls that we saw of the day, wasn't it?
Without doubt, and England needed something at that stage. I got the feeling just at that stage when England were just feeling the cold and nothing was going their way, Australia had a good partnership going, they needed to find a spark from somewhere. And probably unlikely, it came from Overton. I thought he bowled a really good spell, got a bit of movement, a bit of swing away from the right-hander, and then that absolute beauty that seamed back in, just clipped the top of off stump. It was the perfect line, the perfect length, just the little fillip that England needed to get back into this game. So probably wasn't expecting to come from Overton, and I thought Stokes had a pretty good crack at the other end as well. But he was pretty impressive. I agree though, it was a surprise selection for mine as well.
Yeah, where do you see things now? After a day like today. Obviously, it was similar in a way to the first day in Headingley, where we had another day like this where play was continually interrupted and we only had a certain number of overs. Do you think Australia would be quite happy in the end, particularly after losing those early wickets?
I think Australia would be pretty happy now. Being 3 down, they would have preferred to be only 2, but 3 down, 140 odd I think on the board. If they can bat well tomorrow, they'll know that England have to bat last, and this pitch did look quite dry. there was even some spin early on today in the first day. So I think Nathan Lyon will be licking his lips. I don't think anyone can really predict what's going to happen in this series. It's just been so many ups and downs after what we've just seen in Headingley as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's hope the weather clears up and we can actually get full days of play out there. And well played, Marnus.
Well done, Marnus.
But let's hope we can get full days playing because the cricket's been just so intriguing throughout the whole series so far.
Now, maybe Marnus heard some of the nice things that we were saying about him earlier. But you're right, we don't know what's going to happen. This series has thrown all sorts of things at it. Hopefully, it'll be a little less windy and a little less cold tomorrow because we're freezing. Make sure you stay logged on for everything tomorrow on ESPN Cricket Info.